Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Saturn in the ninth house in a natal chart. And first off, what I want to state is some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the house placements and for the planets, and they were a little bit concise. Some people might have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, well, Saturn in the ninth house naturally is comparable to Saturn in Sagittarius, but naturally you've got to blend in the zodiac sign with this. Saturn in Sagittarius in the ninth house, of course, can be different than Saturn, say, in Gemini in the ninth house, as an example. Now, Saturn in astrology is connected with the career. So, if you have Saturn posited in the ninth house in a natal chart, the career may be could be connected with publishing, advertising, printing press operations, sports, college teaching, maybe a professor at a college, working something in connection with the outdoors, like an outdoor guide, or could be doing something with sports as some examples. And the career may be something you have a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm about. Maybe something in which you really are very optimistic regarding, and it may also involve in-laws and grandchildren. So, and where the career may be one in which you express a lot of goodwill and benevolence. Now, Saturn in astrology is also connected with laborious work and industry. So, you may find yourself, if you have this placement in your natal chart, that you may work hard in the law. In the legal, it could be some legal field, whether it's working as an attorney, bailiff, judge, as some examples. And also, too, it could be doing something with importing or exporting, something with sports, the outdoors, religion, philosophy, working as a college professor. It could be work in a foreign country, one that involves in-laws and grandchildren, and the work that you do, the hard, things that you are, where you show a lot of hard work and industry. You may express a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm for. So, those are some ways this could manifest and pan out. So, the thing too is, Saturn in astrology is also associated with the father, older people, and authority figures. So, the thing about, the thing about this is that these people may figure prominently in you expanding horizons. They may be people that are very jovial, jocular, that have a robust sense of humor. It could be they may be sports minded, outdoorsy, breezy. They may often figure prominently in traveling abroad, places, foreign countries you may go to, your higher education. Um, it could be, things that are, associated, just in general. It could be people that are very optimistic as well, benevolent, people that express a lot of goodwill. Um, the thing about this too is that, when you have Saturn in astrology is also connected, with our restrictions, our limitations. So if you have Saturn posited in the ninth house in the natal chart, well, there may be some restrictions in connection with your philosophy, your outlook in general. It could be something where you may be overly rigid and intransigent in certain beliefs, whether it's a religious belief or just beliefs in general, whether it's connected with sports or life, whatever it may be. These things, you may be very rigid on, but at the same time, you may concentrate strongly on these things and sticking with a certain, belief. And the thing about this too, there may also be, some kind of, restriction or limitations associated with publishing, advertising, traveling abroad, higher education. Uh, You may be doing something associated with sports or the outdoors. There may be limitations for whatever reasons. Now, the thing about this too is, when you have Saturn in astrology is also associated with our fears, our inhibitions, things we may worry about. It's apprehension, and there may be more fear regarding traveling abroad and expanding horizons more so than most people. I have Capricorn on the ninth house cusp in the natal chart, which is comparable to this. And I've had tremendous difficulty in expanding horizons. I've never traveled out the country. Um, it was years until I actually even got on a plane, period, to ride. So I can understand, what this is. And the thing about this is, um, there may also be, some fear and apprehension, connected, could be with global communications, publishing, advertising, um, expressing your beliefs and philosophies. It's also, the less dominant parent's health. This is something you may be fearful about. Keep in mind, this is 6 houses from the fourth. That's why it's the less dominant parent's health. And it could be a debilitated, person that's the less dominant parent as well. And that could be something you may be more fearful of and worry about more so than most people on average. Now, Saturn is also connected with sorrow, despondency, dejection, and sadness. When you have Saturn posited in the ninth house in the natal chart, there may be more sorrow in matters, sadness connected with religion, um, with in-laws, with grandchildren, um, global communications. It could be with publishing or advertising, whether it's difficulty getting things published or not, or it's the result of something published that is not overly positive, whatever it may be. Um, it could be also, or something that may have been published about you that may not have been good, such as something being slanderous. It may be matters with foreign travel, dealing with foreigners in general, your higher education. And like with me, again, going back to the fact I have Capricorn on the cusp of my ninth house, which is comparable. I've obviously, for not having any college education, there's obviously been a lot of sorrow and despondency in connection with it. And, part of the reason I'm at in my life where I'm at, that's, very strongly, that does figure prominently in that, in terms of not having that higher education. Now, Saturn is also associated with responsibility. So if you have Saturn positive in the ninth house in the natal chart, there may be more responsibilities, excuse me, just to simply being exuberant, optimistic, benevolent. It could be matters associated with, publishing, you know, it may be science, adventure. You might feel there's a responsibility to expand horizons, to think in the abstract, go outside the box, so to speak. And it may be more responsibilities to in-laws and grandchildren, more so than the average person. And it could be things that are sports related as well. Now, Saturn also is associated with chronic issues. So if you have Saturn in the ninth house in the natal chart, there may be greater propensity for chronic issues associated with the hips, the thighs, the sciatic nerve, the liver. Chronic issues may impact foreign travel more so than most people. Higher education, your college studies, the connection with in-laws and grandchildren as some examples. And the thing about this too is, keep in mind when you have Saturn in the ninth house, you may be someone that desires a lot of structure and discipline. in ninth house related matters, whether it's college studies or the relationship with the in-laws, grandchildren, doing things, things that are sports related, going outdoors, foreign travel, religion. Those things you may desire more consistency, things that are more regimented. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.